dad's grave is in Xenia. Well, I go out to Ed Hyatt's grave, which is in a different cemetery, but it's in Xenia also. And so when I'm down there, I go out there and I put flowers on his grave also, because he was married to my mom, and my mom was married 5 times, twice to one guy. His name was Ed Hyatt, Etzel, Ed Hyatt. So my mom was married. Uh, the guy that my mom was married to, that my two half brothers, Larry and Larry, she was married to that guy. His name was Jim Moen, was his name. Or not Jim Moen. Yeah, Jim Moen, yeah. Because Larry in Springfield, his name was Larry Moen. So his name, so Larry and Larry were full brothers because they had the same mom and same dad. And so his name was Jim Moen. And he was married, she was married to him. He was married to Ed Hyatt twice. So that's 3 marriages. She was married to another guy when she lived in Dayton, Ohio, by the name of Donald Payton, Patton. So, but he just went by Don Payton. And then her last husband was that Harry Staten that she was married to up in Kalamazoo, Michigan. So she was married 5 times. One time's enough for me. One time will be enough for me. Yeah. My mom was married 5 times. One time for me to get married is going to be enough. I don't want to be married more than 1 time. Think about it, hon. I'm going to be marrying you. That's the 1 time. My mom was married 5 times. I'm going to be married 1 time. 1 time. No, it's not 1, 2, 3. It's 1. 1 time is all I'm going to get married. One single time. That's it. So, my mom was married 5 times. Twice, 2 times to one guy, but it was 2 separate marriages. So, yeah, it was my 2 brothers, my 2 brothers, Larry, their dad, Jim Moen, and then my dad, Clarence Joseph Marshall. So that's 2, and then Ed Hyatt. No, actually, she was married 6 times. Yeah. So there was Jim Moen. There was the dad to Larry and Larry. My dad's, Joe Marshall, which, for me and Ken. So that's 2 times. And she was married to Ed Hyatt 2 times. So that's 4 marriages. She was married to Don Payton in Dayton, Ohio. That was 5. And the last guy she was married to, Harry Staten, up in Michigan. So that was number 6. So she was married 6 times, but it was only to 5 guys, because she was married twice to the same guy, 2 different times. So, and he's the one that died of the big old cancer on his neck. That's because he smoked cigarettes. He died of throat cancer from the cigarettes. I think only twice, because there would have been, my mom, because him and mom were, for me and Ken, and then he was married to this other lady, Ruth, which is my sister's mom. So, that's why she's only a half sister, because, he was the same dad to me and my sister, but, she had a different mom than my mom. So that's why she's a half sister. So as far as I know, he was only married twice, to my mom and to my sister's mom. So, and then of course his his mom, my grandma Marshall, she passed away in 19, it's either 72 or 73, because I was living at the children's home here in Wooster when she passed away. And Dennis Bowers, the guy who was the administrator, he told me that he could take me down to either the viewing or the funeral, but he couldn't go down for both because, you know, wasn't going to, drive me down, then 3 days later drive me back down for the funeral again. So I said, well, I'll just go to the viewing. That way I can see her in the casket. Because it had been years, many, many years since I had seen her. All I know that all I knew about her was she was my grandma Marshall. I knew less about her than I did my actual dad, Joe Marshall. Because her name was Helen. Helen Marshall was her name. And but I don't I can't remember. Well, it was either 72 or 73 when she passed away because I went to the children's home in August of 71. So it was either, I forget what it was, either 72 or 73 is when she passed away, which would have been my dad's mom. Yes. Uh, do I? Well, I had three brothers and one sister. So, my sister's still alive. All three of my brothers are gone. Ken was the youngest of us four boys. He was the first one to go. So that was my full brother. We had to, Ken, me, Ken, Bob Marshall, and him, Ken Marshall. So, it's a full brother, same mom and same dad. But then the two Larrys were, just half brothers. Because we had the same mom. Yeah. Ken, Larry, and me. There was two Larrys. And both Larrys were full brothers. They had the same mom and same dad. So they were full brothers. But they were only half brothers to me. Because she was mom to all four of us boys. But my mom is not related to my sister at all. She know, my sister knows who my mom was because she had met her, but she was not related to her at all. Uh huh. Two Larrys and one. So two Larrys. Yeah. The two Larrys had the same mom and same dad. Yeah, there were two. And actually, the one in Springfield was named Larry David Moen. The one in Indiana was named Larry Dennis McFarland. Because the one in Indiana, when mom gave birth to him down in Xenia, Ohio, she was living in Xenia at the time at a group home. And when she gave birth to Larry in Indiana, one day after she gave birth to him, he was adopted out. The judge ordered him adopted out and took him from my mom. My mom saw him the day of that she gave birth to him, but the very next day he was gone. She had no idea where he was at. The judge ordered that he be adopted right away, put into up for adoption. So the judge took Larry in Indiana from my mom the day after she gave birth to him. And his name was McFarland, was his last name, and that was the name of the people that adopted him. That ain't the name my mom gave him. So, but that was the name that the people that adopted him. So, oh well. And actually, Larry in Indiana. I never met him until the year 2000. I did not even know I had another brother until the year 2000. And that's only because he had been trying to find his, birth mother, which was my mom, and he had no, he knew he was adopted, but he had no idea who my mom was, where she lived, or nothing. And he kept, looking into it. He kept, trying to track her down and stuff. Well, my mom got a letter from Social Security. This was in the year 2000. And the letter said, well, there's a gentleman, because of the fact that he was adopted, Social Security could not tell him anything about, mom, you know, because of the fact that he was adopted. So they could not share with him anything about his adoption or who his natural, who his mother was or anything. That's his birth mother. But he did some checking and he kept after it and stuff because he was involved, he was married and stuff. So he was on his own to stuff check, but he still couldn't find anything out from Social Security. Well, he did track down um, what her name was from just checking online or had other people checking with Social Security or whatever and stuff, and so somehow or other he found out what her name was. Well, Social Security still, even though he knew her name, he didn't know where she was or if she was still even alive or anything. And so so Social Security sent a letter to my mom or our mom and says, well, there's a gentleman that thinks that you might be his mother, but because of the fact that he was adopted, we can give you his contact information, his name, his address, and phone number and everything. And if you want to contact him, you can. But we can't give him your information. So, so she got this letter from Social Security that named him Larry, gave her his name, Larry McFarland, where he was living in Rochester, Indiana, his phone number, and Social Security said, if you want to contact him, that's entirely up to you. Because, you're his birth, if it's who you think, if it is, your son, it's up to you if you want to contact him. Well, she she pondered, and of course she was married to Harry Staten at the time, and Harry kept asking her, well, are you going to call him? Are you going to call him? Are you going to call him? Because she had gotten this letter, and like hours later, she still hadn't made up her mind if she was going to contact him. So Harry kept asking, well, Are you going to call him? You need to call him. Are you going to call him? You know, finally, so finally, mom called him, and said, well, you know, I, she says, I think I'm your mom, but I'm not sure. I know I've got a son somewhere, but I don't know if it's you or not. I just, have your name that Social Security gave me. So, that's why I'm contacting you, so that we can possibly meet to see if you are my son. Well, they did. And actually, Harry had a video camera, like it's one of those big ones, you put it, you rest it on your shoulder, and you look through the thing, So he took that with them and he recorded it because I've got it in all my tapes over here of the first time that they met, and that was in the year 2000. And I've got that videotape because I have all the videotapes that Mom and Harry made, you know, like where they lived and when they went on vacation out to Oklahoma to see one of his sons that lived out there with his wife and kids, and so they, so they went down, they drove down to Rochester, Indiana, and met him, and come to find out, it was her son that was taken from her the day after she had given birth to him. And at that time, when she finally found him in the year 2000, he was 50 some years old at that time. And she had no idea where he was or if he was still alive or anything until she got this letter from Social Security stating that he thinks he might be your son, but it's up to you if you want to contact him. So she did, and come to find out, it was her long lost son, and that was the first time I had heard of him. And mom, she didn't tell me before that because she didn't want to get my hopes up that I had another brother somewhere out there because she didn't even know if he was still alive. She had no idea where he was, if he was alive or anything. So once she met with him, then she let me know. She set her and Harry set me down, and she explained everything to me that I have another brother, and his name was Larry, same as the one in Ohio was named Larry, and that I had another brother that I didn't know about, but she didn't want to tell me until she knew for certain that he was still alive and where he was, and and everything, because she didn't want to get my hopes up, and then I might possibly have another brother, and that I didn't even know who he was or what his name was, where he was, or if he was still even alive, you know. So she never told me until after they met, and then confirmed that it was her son that was taken from her the day after she gave birth to him. And like I said, he was in his mid 50s then in 2000. So that was the first time I'd ever heard of him, because that was in the year 2000. So I'd only known him. Well, I've known him now for like 26 years, even though he's been gone for almost 2 years now. Because come July 4th will be 2 years ago that he passed away. So, but yeah, I've only known that I have another brother. You've almost seen them all, haven't you? You're just eating away, aren't you? But yeah, I first time I ever heard of him was in the year 2000. So, so I had known him and seen him during that course, during the time, for that 24 years before he passed away. So so yeah, I found out he was in his mid 50s at the time, and he was like 70 something, when he passed away. Then, so yep, that's my family history. It's just a big old merry-go-round. And now, that's my family, my past, and you are my future. You are my present, and you are my future, and you will always be my future. Always, son. Mm, I love you, sweetheart. I love you so, so much. You're so welcome. And I know you've been recording, so you'll have a nice long video to post. Two of them. Oh, yeah. Well, I know the one I was watching was like over an hour long. The ones that I watched earlier and stuff. The first one, the latest one that you posted of you, and then the one after that, I think. Well, the one after that was only like a few seconds long, but then the one after that was like over an hour long. So, and and yeah, hon, I'm glad to see you on there. I mean, yeah, we'll post more of you and I together and stuff, but yeah, I'm glad that you're posting yourself on there. I mean, that might draw more people in than looking at my old wrinkled up body. They would look at you and they'd say, I don't want to watch him. I want to watch that beautiful girl. So you might get more views. You're so sweet. I love you. I love you. I love you. Yeah. Healthy hair. Yeah. I wish I could eat cucumbers. It might help my hair grow. And you don't need anything like that. You're beautiful as it is. You don't. You're perfect. Yeah. Yep. Okay. And you're not going to get rid of me. No, no, no. You're stuck with me. There's no. You're not getting out of it. No, don't even think about it. No, no, no. You're stuck with me forever, never, never, and always. Mm, just like and I'm not really stuck with you. I, I'm more than stuck with you. I have you in my life forever. Mm, yep, we're together. Can't separate them. Nope. We're like glue. We're stuck together. Oh yeah. And we're getting, and every day our love and our support and our caring it'll get better and better and better every single day. On our happiness and and whether and every day, whether it's good days, all bad days, it's you know we'll have it all. You know, there'll be bad days. There'll be just like you said, every couple has them. You know, we don't, we don't want to have them, but there'll be disagreements about this, that, whatever. It's just part of life. But we'll get through whatever comes our way. We'll get through it, and it'll just make us stronger and more happy. I love you. I really, really, really do. I love you so much. Mm. 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 Oh, you know what time it is? Time for you to go to sleep, huh? Yeah, it's 10:10. 10:10. 10:10. There was an old show on back in I think it was like way back in the 50s or whatever it's called. It was about this dog who was called Ren, R-E-N 1010. Ren 1010. It's RENTINTIN. Ren 1010. And it was about this dog and the little boy that owned it. He was with his dad was in like the cavalry or whatever and stuff, way back in the olden days and stuff. And so it was like it was sort of closely to another show. It was called Lassie, about this little boy Timmy that he had a dog and its name was Lassie, and it was a wasn't a German Shepherd, but it was I forget what type of dog it was, but in the show, it was a half-hour show that was on like every week for I don't know how many years that was on, and just called Lassie, and Lassie had a habit of helping people, like if somebody was in distress or something had happened to somebody, Lassie would either try and stay there with them to help them, protect them or whatever, or Lassie would take off and run and get other adults to come and to help out whoever's. And he also, Lassie also he looked out for other animals like maybe a bird fell out of a tree or a rabbit was hurt or a squirrel or Lassie was just it was like a compassionate dog that looked out for anybody, whether it was human or animal. And so, so yeah, I used to watch that. And there was another show on. It was called Gentle Ben, and it was about this boy that befriended a grizzly bear. Well, well, um, he didn't befriend it. He came he came across a cub whose mother had been killed by poachers or whatever and stuff. So in the show, uh, General Ben, the boy raised the cub until it was a full grown, adult grizzly bear, but it was very gentle to, him and his family, and his brothers and dad and whatever and stuff. And that's why it was called Gentle Ben, because Ben was the name of the grizzly bear. And it was an old show way back in the day, just like there was another show that had Dennis Weaver in it, which Dennis Weaver's a big. He's gone now, but he was a big time actor and stuff. And it was called uh, it was called Flipper. 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 And it was about a dolphin. And this dolphin was owned by this boy, and the dolphin would you know guide them, like if somebody was in distress or whatever, you know hurt somewhere in a boat or whatever. Flipper would he would people would follow him, and he would jump up out of the water and back in. He kept doing that to make sure that his owner and stuff that were following him in the boat never lost track of him as to where he was going, so he could lead them to whoever might be in distress or whatever. So so yeah, there's a lot of good old old shows about animals, dogs and a bear and a dolphin, and I used to watch all those way back in the day. Yep, you're getting there, hon. You're almost there. Yeah, I know. Yep, you're beautiful as it is. You don't need anything else. Your beauty is your beauty is perfect, as the French would do. Perfect. You're perfect, and you're mine. You're all mine. You're 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 right in here all the time, right inside my heart. And when we are together, our two hearts will be beating as one. Yep, absolutely. You're so sweet. Uh, There's a bear on TV. You going to sleep? That was a bear. Uh, this is some kind of it's some kind of nature. I mean, I've got it on mute, but it's some kind of documentary on nature or whatever. And so I don't know what they're saying or anything because I got it on mute. So, but I just, I glance at it every now and then, and it's just, a documentary about, animals. Huh? Yeah. Well, now this is on the Travel Channel that I have it on right now, and up in the corner, there's a show that it comes on Wednesday night. It's been on before, but the new season of it comes on the documentary channel, and it's called um, uh, yeah, it's called Expedition Unknown. It's about this guy that travels to these different places that might be underground or you know hidden caves or whatever and stuff. That's why it's called Expedition Unknown, because he's going somewhere and he's taking a camera crew with him and stuff, and they film it, and then it goes, it's put on the Discovery Channel, and you know, so I've seen it in the past. It's good, but the new season starts Wednesday night. You ready to go to sleep? Is that why you were doing this? Because you're getting ready to go to sleep? Huh? I don't know. Probably any time now. Yes. Yep. I know you. Your 4 hours will turn into 6, 7 hours. Hey, you won't. You unless you set an alarm to get up in 4 hours, you won't wake up in 4 hours. It may be four and a half, 5, 6. Just whenever you decide, I think I'll get up now. Uh, and even though you sat there and ate all those cucumbers in 2 hours, you may wake up and say, "I'm hungry," and then you'll get up and go get something to eat. I can't do that, hon. I mean, if I'm hungry, it's still just say, "Shut up! You're gonna have to wait until I'm awake." Number one, I don't know what you're talking about. I still don't understand what you're talking about. You, I mean, I've got my volume up all the way, and I can barely hear you. Yeah, 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 yeah. Now, see, I can't eat. I just can't eat like you do. I mean, I'll eat, a little bit, but I mean, if I would have sat there and tried to eat all the, if I could have, if I had teeth, I, there's no way I could have sat there and eat all those cucumbers. I just couldn't have. I, I would be in such pain and agony from all that food inside of me, and then try to go to sleep. I'd be so miserable, I wouldn't be able to sleep. But you can do it. Its metabolism is different. Everybody's metabolism, the body reacts different to what they eat and how much they eat. And, I mean, I just can't do that. I can't eat a whole bunch and then decide, oh, I'm going to go to sleep now. I can't do that. But you can do it. Yeah. But the thing is that when you eat like you do, you know, within an hour, hour and a half before you go to sleep, like when you were out last night, and you ate that rice and the chicken and the gravy and the soda, and the Coca Cola and everything, and then you walk home and then you go to sleep. It's like I can't do that. I just can't. I would be so miserable and trying to sleep after eating a bunch of food like that. I couldn't get to sleep. I'd be in agony. I, my body would be hurting from eating all that. Yeah, I can't. You know, that's a big difference between you and I. I can't eat like that. I just can't. I mean, I eat, but I don't. I just can't. I can't do that right. Within an hour of going to sleep. I mean, fried rice, fried rice last night. And see, I mean, I'm sorry, hon, but I cannot eat like that. I just can't. And I know you're gonna, when I'm there, I know you're gonna want me to try this and try that and try this, try that and try everything. And, I'm just gonna have to plain and simply say, I gotta slow down, hon. I can't eat. I'm, I'm full. We'll go walking for an hour and a half. Then I might be able to eat some more, but, I just, you can do it, but I can't. I'll sit there and watch you eat, but I won't be able to do it. Nope, 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 nope. You love to eat. I eat, but I don't eat like you eat. Ah, huh? I mean, I'll eat. When I'm hungry, I eat, but I just not like the way you eat. Yeah, yeah, and I mean, I like rice, but I can't eat rice like you do. You know, I mean, you eat it. If you can, you eat it every single day. Which I totally understand. I do, but you know, I just can't do that. I mean, I can eat it like when I make rice. You know, I usually put a normally I put a cup of water in the pan, bring it to a boil, and then I dump a cup. I take it off of the heat. I dump a cup of rice. Yeah, last one. I dump the cup of rice in the water. Then I'll mix it up a little bit, and then I just cover it up. And then after 5 minutes, it absorbs the water. You know, then it's ready to eat. Now, the other day I made 2 cups of rice, but I only ate half of it. I put the other part in the refrigerator, and then the next day I put it in the microwave and heated it back up. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I like rice, but I cannot eat it like you eat it. Day after day after day. I mean, if I eat it twice a week, for me, that's plenty. See, you're eating, you're still eating, and you're getting ready to go back to sleep. I would be in such agony from eating like that and then going right to sleep. I would, I would be laying in bed, tossing and turning because my belly would be hurting me so bad. You don't. Yeah, it doesn't bother you, but it will bother me. So I don't eat, usually, last time I ate anything tonight was probably, oh, you were still asleep. So it's probably around 5:30, 6 o'clock, something like that. Because you got up around 7:30 because it was a little bit after that, when you called me. And, but So it was around 5:30, 6 o'clock was the last time I ate anything. So, yep, I'm good. Yeah, you know, I'm good until tomorrow morning. And I've got some oatmeal in there, some instant oatmeal, so I can just open up one of those. It takes 2/3 of a cup of water. I just put it in one of my bowls, put it in the microwave for like 2 minutes, and it's done. It's cooked. So then I'll sit here and I'll eat, some oatmeal. But of course, I'm gonna be going and giving plasma tomorrow too. So, you know, I get the $50 tomorrow, and then hopefully, well, I know both of my arms are okay right now. So in case I'm gonna use my right arm tomorrow, but in case it bruises or whatever, I would still have my left arm for Saturday. I mean for Friday. So that way I can get my $130. Then the way it's been going, you know, I'll probably have bruises and miss 2 weeks in a row again. So that'd be another 130 and 130. So that'd be like, $260 that I'd lose for 2 weeks in a row because I won't be able to go. So it's like I get cleared up, I go 1 week, then I can't go for 2 more weeks. That stinks. um, yes, hon. Good night. Okay, I'm turning this off now. Bye. That's history. We're done. So long. See ya. You're going to sleep. Yeah, yeah. Now I know when I'm there that there will be. I mean, I'll try anything once. You know, there's something you say, oh yeah, you need to try this and stuff. Now I'm sure that there'll be something that I eat that I won't like. You know, but I won't know unless I try it. And I know there'll be something of the whatever you want me to try and stuff, different, foods or whatever. I'm sure there's something that will not agree with me. And so don't take offense, if I say, nah, hon, I don't like that. No, you know, I'm sure there'll be something that I won't like. But, I gotta try it to know whether or not I do or don't like it. It's the only way I'll know for certain. But I'm sure there'll be something that, I'll try that just won't agree with me. I'll say no. And now the one thing that I will not, there's two things that I will not touch. Sushi is one. I do not want to eat raw fish. No, I don't care if it's tuna and everybody eats it. If it's raw, I'm not eating it. Nope, it's not going to touch these lips. Nope. Well, you can eat it all. Okay. And the other thing that I tried once when I was young, stuffing, like, Thanksgiving, you put stuffing, like, like dressing and stuffing, when you have a turkey and, the dressing, stuffing and stuff. I tried that one time, and I know what it is. It's the different spices and herbs and stuff that people mix, in it and stuff. It just did not agree with me. I mean, it was so bad that I took a bite of it one time when I was young. This is when I was at my grandma and grandpa's, you know, way back when I was, just a little tight. And I tried it, and not to be gross, but as soon as I put that in my mouth and swallowed, I threw up from one bite. I I refuse to eat dressing, stuffing, whatever you want to call it. Nope. I tried it once. That was it. Don't want it. I'll eat turkeys. I'll eat, mashed potatoes to go with turkey, the gravy. But I don't want to eat that stuffing. Nope. A lot of what? Yeah. Oh yeah. What? Well, and there's a lot of foods there that I've never. I mean, there's stuff that you eat that I've never even heard of before until you showed it to me. You know, there's certain things that you've eaten that I have never even heard of. I eat the normal stuff. The normal everyday American whatever food is what I eat. Hamburgers, hot dogs, pizza, you know, I love pizza. I love pizza. And actually, once you're here, there's a place up there. Actually, it's right across the street from where I get plasma. It's called Geppetto's Pizza and Ribs. They have got fantastic food, whether it's pizza, ribs, sub sandwiches, pasta. Oh, everything they got is great. The only problem is it's so daggone expensive. I used to work at a Geppetto's up in Cleveland. I worked there. I was the assistant manager at a Geppetto's for a year, and when I was working there, I enjoyed getting my food for free. So never had to pay for the pizza or the ribs or whatever. I mean, I didn't go crazy and buy like a whole bunch of ribs. Like the little ends, like on the ribs, they usually start like this, and then as the going down toward one end, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So at the very end, there's like three or four that's just small pieces. They're called ribettes, and usually we would save those. We'd cut them off because we wouldn't serve those to the customers. The bottom bought the ribs, and then we would just heat them up for us, the employees, to eat. So because otherwise you're just going to be throwing them away anyway. So, you don't need to do that because you're beautiful. You don't need to look at yourself in the mirror. I know you're beautiful. You know you're beautiful. It's like you're looking at the mirror and like, am I beautiful? Yeah, hon, you are. You don't have to try and convince yourself that you are. I know what you're doing when you're looking over there like that. You're looking at yourself in the mirror. Huh? Yeah, yeah. And I don't believe in none of that stuff. I don't believe in any of that stuff. No, not me. I don't, if I break a mirror, I break a mirror. If a black cat walks in front of me, or if I walk underneath a ladder, just another day to me. It means absolutely nothing to me. None of that. I do not believe in any of that superstition, hocus pocus, you know, none of that stuff. It's just the way I am. I mean, I know there's people in the world that, you know, they, you know, now how strong you believe in whatever, I don't know, but hurt myself, I don't believe in any of it. So if something's going to happen to you, it's going to happen to you. Now, what are you going to do if you're looking in the mirror like that and flexing yourself and the mirror cracks? Then what are you going to think? Well, what are you covering your underarm up for? Well, hon, you know I love that. So, I like that even more. Could you imagine you and I walking down the street and you have your hair like that? Could you imagine the looks? And then if we're walking down the street and you have your hair like that and stuff, and people are giving you this, what the heck is that? I'd I'd lean over and say, "Yep, that's my beautiful wife. That's her hairy arms, and I love them." Uh, you're unique. Yeah. Uh, uh, careful, and you're gonna you're gonna you're gonna do that into a knot, and then you're gonna have a hard time pulling the knot out. Okay, I know you and I know especially you need to go to bed. I'm gonna go to the CR and turn off all my lights and whatever and turn my TV. Actually, I'll just turn my TV off now. There, TV's off. One light's off. So I got that light on and the kitchen light and the sink light on. Uh, so you ready to go to sleep? No, you can't go to sleep yet. I need to be there with you, not you there and me here. I need to be there with you. So you got to stay awake from now until the time I get there. No sleeping. You'd be dead. You wouldn't be able to make it. That's over a month away yet. I love you, sweetheart. Mwah. I love you. I love you. I love you so much, forever and ever, and always, and more every single day. Mm. You sleep well and sweet dreams, and try not to get up in 2 hours and say, "I'm hungry. I need to go get food." You just ate. Give it time. Yeah, you get up in 4 hours, then you can eat something. What, sweetheart? Mwah. Mwah. I love you. I love you. I love you. I cannot wait to hold you in my arms. Instead of doing this, I can actually wrap my arms around you and hold you so close and kiss you. Boy, am I going to kiss you. Mm, I can't wait to hold you and kiss you, Ruth. If nothing else, I know other things are coming along, but hold you and kiss you in person. It's going to be so fantastic. I love you, sweetheart. So, okay, hon, I'll let you go to sleep. So, I will, hon. I will. I'll get everything shut off, and I gotta go. You know, I'm sure you. After I'm done, I'm sure you will take your little container and do what you gotta do too. See, we can talk about. We can say something and we know what each other's talking about. So, without actually saying it. Yeah. Yeah. Later. Okay. Okay, sweetheart. So, okay, you ready? Oh, one, two, and a three. I love you, sweetheart. Mm, mm. Boy, do I want to kiss you. And boy, am I ever going to when I see you. Mm-hmm. Okay, hon. So, bye bye for now. And sweet dreams. And I will talk to you sometime tomorrow. I'm not sure exactly what time I'm going to go give my plasma, but, you know, I'm going to definitely be doing that tomorrow. But so I will talk to you later. So night night, my love. I love you and bye bye for now. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Bye bye. I'm hanging up now. Mm-hmm. Okay. Here goes. Okay. Now I need to go. CR. Ah, come on now. Quit falling. Down there. Down